Welcome to another interview from Radio Bypass with a young artist. And as you know, we like to turn you on to new bands out there. And this musician has a brand new single coming out June 25th. Been on our show once before when he had his first single, his debut single out. And I'm really excited to have him back. And the guy I'm talking about is Austin Moe. Please welcome Austin to Radio Bypass. And he's going to tell us about his new single being released June 25th. How are you, Austin?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm glad to have you back. So you've got a brand new song coming out. I can't wait to hear it. Take a Walk in My Shoes. Tell us all about it.
So the song itself was written probably, I would say, in the beginning of this year, 2021. And when I was sitting at home, not doing much because of COVID,
right?
A lot of the commercials that were on TV were very, we'll say, charged. Not propaganda is too strong of a word, but it was borderline. It was mainly like, oh, if this person isn't on your, like-minded views, you need to despise them, and this party, or vice versa.
Right.
And so that really got me thinking with, me just being a younger kind of person. It got me to the thoughts of, what would happen if people, instead of dividing and fighting and all this stuff, came together and as a nation, rather than try and keep us separated with, well, that person voted for that person, or that person thinks this on this law and that on that law. And so I would write down thoughts and little phrases in my notebook. And right around that time, I was working with Frank and going over to his house maybe a couple times a week. And so we pulled out my notebook. I pulled out my phone, which has a bunch of riffs recorded on it throughout, just jamming. Sometimes things just come out, and some things you just got to think of, oh, I want this kind of an attitude. And so with this song, when we created it, I had this core verse idea. And the way that I've been writing recently is I write down and go on GarageBand and get all the verses down. So then when it comes to the chorus, I try and find some bands that I like, or like if Styx is on, I'll try and get into their head, kind of a thing. Right. And so I was listening to a lot of like classic rock, AC/DC, a sprinkle of Tesla, obviously, and like Dio and stuff. Oh no. And so I sent the idea to Frank, and he called me right away. He's like, oh yeah, that's great. But what if, on the chorus, you tried this? And so he like gave just a little humming kind of thing. And so I went home and expanded on that. And when I sent it to him, he was like, yes, that's exactly what I was talking about. So I think what he was doing was he was trying to teach me in a way to strengthen my songwriting with, not giving me all the keys to the kingdom. He was like, here's a sneak peek, go and see what you can come up with, kind of a thing.
Right.
And so we came up with the base foundation of the song, and then we were out to dinner one night, and all this stuff was going on. And even on the TV, it was very, there's riot going on down here and all this. And so we were like, for the chorus, the words should be with the message of, let's just not fight each other, man, and really try and befriend everybody,
right,
as much as you can. I think that would drastically change how the world, just operates in general.
It would, if we could get everybody on the same page to think that way.
Well,
yeah, it's one
people.
Exactly. It's one step at a time, right? As long as people like you keep coming along that want that, because even your previous song, The River, I mean, that was a very positive message song as well. So clearly, you think about these things and you want to put out positivity into the world, which I think is great because there's enough negativity. We need more positivity. So I commend you for that.
Well, thanks. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, the songs that are really just super negative, that's just to get out. And those are only to be stored on my laptop and nowhere else because there's some ideas, man, that it's like, whoa, man, I was really mad that day.
Right. I get it. And it's okay to express that too, but it's how you live your life. And like you said, the last few years, really, it seems to me in my lifetime anyway, I feel like we've just become way more divided than I've ever seen before. And again, I would stop short of propaganda, but just a lot of negative things out there. And it does, it kind of makes you sad, and it makes you kind of worried about the future,
Yeah,
for young
totally.
people like yourself. And obviously I have a young child as well. And so I do worry about that kind of thing. And so it's really refreshing to hear that, you're trying to think about how we could come together. And I really believe there's still a ton of good people here. And I think we could all come together. And I think we do a lot of times in times of crisis, but as a day-to-day thing,
Yeah.
maybe not as much, and maybe we need to be reminded, and maybe
Right.
you can do that through your music.
Hey, well, maybe that's why I'm here.
That's right. That's right.
Never
And
know.
we should mention, we mentioned Frank, but in case people didn't remember from our previous talk, toward the end of last year, Frank Hannon from Tesla has kind of been your producer and kind of helping you with song structure and things like that. So you've been working with him on this song. And then are you still engaged? You still working on more material?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Frank and I are still working together. He's actually starting to get back into the role of preparing for their upcoming tour with Tesla.
Right.
And so with that in mind, I stumbled upon this this producer out in Boston. And I flew out, actually, I believe it was last month, and we cut a couple of songs. And so I'm going back out targeting to September, and I'm planning on recording 3 or 4 more songs and then releasing that body of work as an EP. And
Good.
while that's all going on and such, I have 2 more unreleased singles that I've worked on with Frank that will be released later on this year.
Great. So we've got a lot more to come from you after the new song tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a fun year, man.
Good. That's awesome. And you've had a chance to start performing live a little bit. I think didn't you have something this week that you played live at?
Yeah, it's actually the venue that we spoke a little bit off camera. It was at Windmill Cove in Stockton, which is a fantastic venue. It's right on the water. It was cool 80 degrees with a breeze from just heaven. It was perfect.
Yeah.
And then I had another show prior to that, and that was last weekend, I believe. Not this, but I guess it would be 2 weekends ago. And it was for a benefit for this local band. They're called Hazmat, and they're going to be playing the Whiskey A Go-Go and the Viper Room this year. So we did a fundraiser for them to help them, with the gas expenses and food and hotel prices. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. So how did it feel getting a chance to get out playing live again?
It's strange. I got to be honest, because it's been so long, I didn't anticipate not performing for a year or over a year. However, that also grounded everybody in the music industry. So looking at it from my perspective, without COVID, honestly, I wouldn't have been able to have been mentored and work by and for Frank Hannon as much as I have. So with that, it's a blessing. But as far as wanting to go and get my fix to play in front of people, it's just been antsy, man.
Right. Well, it's back, baby. Live music is back. Woo!
Oh yeah.
So that's good. But yeah, no, you're right. The COVID time, if he had more time to give you and help you, that is a blessing for sure. So what else is going on? What else has happened since we talked last?
Well, I think that was just about everything other than, the working with the producer out in Boston. His name is Joe Merrick, and fantastic dude. And we have a couple of things that are still in the talks. However, if it does happen, it's going to be one heck of a ride, and I'll be contacting you and a bunch of people to say, hey, look what's happening.
Good.
But
I'll be
until the
excited.
things are ironed out and all the details and all that stuff, it's kind of on the hush hush. But give a little bit of hope
Okay.
to
Well,
live music. So
everybody from Radio Bypass will send you positive vibes that it'll all work out. Whatever it is, it'll work out.
yeah,
All right.
I
Well,
appreciate
awesome.
it.
Awesome. Well, that's great. I'm so glad that we're going to get another song from you tomorrow or Friday, June 25th. Actually, today, when this goes online, it'll be today. So, and then Take a Walk in My Shoes will be available on all the streaming services. Will people also be able to purchase the song for download on iTunes or something?
Oh yeah, it's going to be released on all the major platforms: Apple Music, YouTube Music, Spotify, Amazon. You can even say, hey Alexa, turn on Take a Walk in My Shoes by Austin Moe, or our last single, The River by Austin Moe.
That's right. And for anybody that may have missed when I've played it on the show, or when Austin and I got together the last time, if you have missed that song, check it out, because that is also a great song, without a doubt. So if you missed it, yeah, do exactly what Austin just said. Go check it out. All right. Well, Austin, thank you so much for coming by. I wish you continued success, and I look forward to see your progress. And I'm so glad that we got a young rock and roller that is making some waves here. I think people are getting to know who you are, and that'll continue, I'm sure.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It was a real honor.
Yeah, no problem, Austin. Take care, and everybody check out Take a Walk in My Shoes. As we said, available anywhere. You can always search Austin on the internet. He's got all kinds of things going on, it sounds like. So Austin Moe, a young artist you need to know and keep an eye on. Thanks again, Austin.
Thank you.